Yo, what's up everyone? My name is Andrew Warren, and in today's video, we're going to be doing our typical daily portfolio update. So I always like to keep it real with the transparency here with the channel, and with that comes me revealing my losses and gains. You know, we have the loss days, we have the big days where we've had stock market crashes. I've even covered it way back then when I've lost thousands and thousands of dollars in one day. I even remember at one point that I believe we lost like $5,000 in one day, and that was back when my portfolio was only worth like $70,000 compared to what it's worth now. So yeah, like right here it's saying like $80,000, but I'm pretty sure it was a lot less than that invested back then. Robinhood updates this number based off of just how much money you've put in so far. So I think I had less than that, probably like 65,000. So there were days where I had like a $60,000 portfolio and lost like $5,000 in one day. But I think it's important, at least with my channel. I mean, for one thing, I do it for fun with these updates. For one thing, it's just fun for me to look back on these videos, you know, maybe 5 to 10 years from now, just see where I started. Hopefully, in the future, I will eventually be a millionaire. That is the plan. I love to be a millionaire by 30, but that would be really difficult, especially considering that my income isn't anything crazy. Really, what I'm hoping for the most here is that as I keep investing for the long term, that my stocks start to perform well, and I'll at least have $1 million in net worth by the age of 30. Now, that's almost like an Elon Musk timeline right there, because I think I would really have to, you know, grind super hard, keep investing, and then also just make some pretty solid stock picks as well. So far, I would love to see, you know, the growth that we've seen out of Tesla even more in the future. I definitely think it's possible, even in the long term, to see, you know, like a huge share price for Tesla. You know, we've talked about in past videos about a potential $10,000 share price of Tesla by like 2030. And given the fact that I'm 22 years old right now, almost about to be 23, you know, it seems like those timelines are going together a little bit, where like 8 years from now, you know, Tesla could potentially grow a lot like we've been discussing in past videos. And then also with me consistently investing into Tesla and then many of the other stocks like Microsoft and some other options maybe as well, then I can maybe grow my net worth at least near $1 million, or maybe even to $1 million. Now that would be really hard. I would have to grind so much, but that's something that I would love to see out of this portfolio, is for us to eventually hit $1 million. You know, first off, we had the 100K milestone. That was huge for me when I finally broke 100K, and it seems like the growth is just happening faster and faster, and that is really thanks to compound interest. That's why a lot of people talk about with investing, as your share price grows more and more and more, you think about those 1% movers. Those 1% movers start to become more significant in terms of making you money as the share price gets larger and larger. Because think about it, let's think about Amazon, you know, 5 years ago. Let's say Amazon was at $500 5 years ago. Then if Amazon grew 1 to 2% in a day, then that would be, you know, some solid gains, but nothing really significant, you know, that's life changing. But if we're thinking about Amazon right now at this $3,000 share price that we see right here, a 1 to 2% move is much more significant, especially when you own multiple shares. And that increase in share price is thanks to not only just compound interest, but just investing over time and investing in high quality companies. So when you're able to do that and invest in a long-term high quality company, then as time goes on, then that compound interest can really help you out. And what may not have seemed like a lot of money many years ago on a share price, when that share price has increased significantly, let's say like 5 years in the future, then that compound interest really does a lot of work for you. And that's where it really gets into, you know, how they talk about making money while you sleep. As we've heard with many quotes before, they say one of the ways you can truly be wealthy is when you finally learn to make money while you sleep. So that comes to like multiple income sources, which is something that I have as well. This channel isn't my only income source. I have a few others, not too significant or anything like that, but still, that is the plan with a portfolio. I'd love to eventually hit $1 million by 30, but like I said, that's a very aggressive goal. It's like an Elon Musk goal. It's definitely an aggressive timeline, and also considering the fact that I may be purchasing a house sometime between now and the time I'm 30, so that's another big thing as well that could play a role. If I buy a house, for one thing, I'll have a house bill, insurance, and maybe I'll eventually buy a car as well. That's another expense. So there's definitely some barriers in the way of me hitting 1 million by the time I'm 30. I definitely think it's an aggressive timeline, like I said, but I think it's possible, and with positivity and persistence, I think it could happen. But as always, before we jump into this update, even though we're farther into it than I expected already, then please make sure to smash that like button. I really appreciate the love. As always, you all showing me support motivates me, and it helps these videos get recommended more, so I appreciate it. So just starting off talking about what happened in the stock market today, just addressing the stocks in my portfolio, Tesla, Microsoft, Apple mainly. This doesn't really influence the portfolio that much. It's just a few bucks, like $12. So starting off with a portfolio, as you can see from today, we got a plus 1.39% gain for today in the normal market hours, and that equals to $1,476.86. And then for the after hours, we got a plus 0.06% gain, or plus $60.36. So definitely a solid gain for today. But my only issue so far is that, when I see a day like this, obviously I'm thankful for the green day. I'm thankful that I've made money. But the only thing that I see about this is that it's just rebounding back up to where we were just a few days ago. So that's the thing. It's not really surprising or something that I can get really excited about, because it's not really new territory for the portfolio. We hit this all-time high on July 13th of $119,177.88. And then since then, it's just been a bunch of back and forth of volatility up and down, of me hoping that the portfolio reaches that value once again eventually. So over the past few days and even the past few weeks, I've just been waiting for us to hit that number again. So any movement in between there up until we finally hit this point is kind of just a little bit boring, I guess I would say, since I've already been at that point. It's not really as exciting when you've been there and you constantly get teased of the market going up and down and you don't know whether it's going to drop or surge next. So that is one kind of complaint I guess I would have with the portfolio. Still really satisfied with a plus 19.19% for the past month. That plus $17,291. Definitely satisfied about that. That's almost 2 years worth of growth for just what someone would get out of investing at VOO, which averages like a 10% gain per year. So it's definitely a huge growth rate for especially just the past month. But I do wish that we could get past this volatility stage right here where it's kind of just plateaued a little bit. But jumping into the pre-market, as you can see, we started out at plus 1.03%, and that was at a $1,092.58 gain. And then we moved into the normal market hours at this point at 9:30 a.m., which was at plus 0.94% or plus $997.04. Then it spiked back up and then dropped back down to this lowest point of the day, which was at plus 0.70% or plus $745.51. And then since that point, it increased up until 10:05 a.m. at plus 1.74%. Dropped back down with a little bit of volatility, rebounded up, dropped back down with some more volatility, then rebounded up again until this point at 11:15 a.m. A little bit more volatility proceeding after that, with a few rebounds here and there, and then we hit this point at 11:45 a.m. One of the higher points of the day for sure, and this was a plus 2.39% gain, or plus $2,529 at that point. Then we had some more volatility, hit this peak right here, dropped back down with some more volatility once again until we hit this low point at plus 1.31%. It bounced back up with more volatility, dropped down to this point, and then rebounded up to this point at 2:45 p.m., one of the higher markers of the day, at plus 2.23% or plus $2,360.82. Then we had a downturn after that until the normal market hours ended, and at 3:55 p.m. we were at plus 1.46% or plus $1,545.28. And then as the aftermarket hours started, we spiked up to this point at 4:10 at plus 0.47%, but then it kind of just dropped back down and had a little bit of a pullback to where it basically just flatlined out until the after hours ended at 6 p.m. for Robinhood. So far with the after hours, only a 0.06% gain. So like I said, so far, not a crazy day, but I'm still very thankful for a green day, especially a day where every single stock in my portfolio was in the green and made me a little bit of money. And that free stock has been going crazy lately. I've actually just been leaving it there and not selling it out of pure curiosity, because if you look at the past year, this stock is skyrocketing. It's up 184%. So especially with it being free, I thought, well, it doesn't hurt to just leave it in the portfolio and see what happens. You never know, we may have the next Moderna in terms of just a huge price increase. But as usual, let's go ahead and address the stock price movements for today. As you can see, for Tesla, we are at plus 1.59% or plus $809.31. And then for the total return, we are at a crisp, even plus 77% or plus $22,453.26. Then next up, we have Microsoft stock, which got exactly a 1% gain for today at plus $395.85. And then for the total return for Microsoft, we are at plus 19.06% or plus $6,369.03. And then finally, we have Apple stock today, which had a 2.12% gain at plus $331.38. Then for the total return, we are at plus 33.20% or plus $3,987.72. And just to brag on Apple a little bit today, there was a hearing going on with Congress and some of the big tech leaders. There was the CEO of Google, you had the CEO of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, and there was also the CEO of Apple as well, and some other people I probably can't remember. But I did tune into that just a little bit as I was waiting on the market to close. And they were actually interviewing a lot of these CEOs. Some CEOs had better answers than others. Some were kind of avoiding the questions that they received. But I will have to brag on Tim Cook from Apple, at least from the small part that I saw from that live stream of them asking him questions. He didn't back down, but he was respectful as well. And he gave honest answers. And he actually answered the questions. So, everybody can say what they want to say about Tim Cook. But all I have to say is, as an investor, that's what I like to see out of that Congress meeting, where he actually answered their question. And so he answered those questions pretty well, at least from what I saw, in my opinion. And honestly, Apple being included in that Congress meeting, I think there's a much bigger issue of things being monopolized across many of the other companies in comparison to just Apple. I think Apple still has a lot of competition. You have Samsung and many other competitors out there. And Apple has a lot of competition, in my opinion, whether it's for their phones or whether it's for one of their other products and services. So I think Apple has a lesser issue of, the question in hand about monopolies and things like that, and, how much power these tech CEOs are getting. Yes, of course, Apple has a ton of power as well, but in comparison to a lot of the others and influences on information, then I think, it should be focused on more of these other companies compared to Apple. But I was pretty satisfied with Tim Cook. I have to admit, I know a lot more about Steve Jobs than I do Tim Cook, but still, as an investor, I was satisfied with that. So Apple did face a pretty good growth day today at plus 2.12%. So maybe that's one of the reasons why it had a pretty solid growth day. But anyways, hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, as always, make sure to smash that like button. Just takes a few seconds and I appreciate the love. And also, if you're new and want to check out some investing brokerages, check out Robinhood and Webull, and feel free to use my link in the description to both of those brokerages. And especially if you sign up with Webull right now, you can get up to 60 free stocks depending on how much you deposit. But I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week.